Hi, this is Denise from Paint a Party. I'm going to do an elements video on the rose and break it down for you completely. First we'll do a design using leaves and putting it all together on an arm, and then I'll break it down step by step like this so that you can see all the different steps that go into making a rose. I'll be using a 5/8 inch angled shader, a 1/2 inch angled shader, a number 2 round, and your favorite blossom brush. And I'll have more detailed description in the comments so that you can see exactly what I'm going to be using. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to make some exterior petals. Maybe make one a little pointed just for difference so it doesn't look too symmetrical. So while that's drying, usually on an arm design, I'll go add some other. So I'm going to show you a variety of sizes. So the next one, I wouldn't do any exterior petals. I would just do a middle bud and then start adding a few outside petals. Okay, so that would be like a medium-sized one, and then I could add another one that was just a bud in the middle, and then 2 exterior petals. And we'll break this down a little bit more in a minute. And then for the last one, see, I still have enough paint in my brush. I'm not reloading. I would go ahead and just add just a bud. And I would probably vary these where they went, but I just wanted to show you the difference in sizes. So then I would probably point the bud this direction, whatever the top of my design was. And then basically I'm going to create this in the middle. So this medium-sized flower in the middle. And if you'll notice, I'm putting my petal alongside the other one and just coming out and making a comma shape. I'm not trying to draw a petal. I'm actually creating a bunch of commas. And as I get farther on down the flower, the flatter the commas get. If you'll notice, I've got some spaces in here that, because I left an open area in the middle, I've got some skin showing through. So what I do is, because I've got this angled shader, I just take that little white spot and fill in wherever there might be anything showing through. So I'm going in between, I'm starting in between the 2 petals. And just make loop, 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 and then I come out and make a point. Okay. Okay, this is hard to do. Make sure I get the camera. Anyway, I'm doing a loop, 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 and then meet it, and then I just come back. And that way it kind of catches all the parts you might not have filled in before. So now I'm going to show you the little difference in the different sizes of petals. So I still do the loop, but I just come back around the sides of the petal. So just basically a half of a leaf here. Okay, and then for the smaller bud, I'll put my brush outside of the bud like this, and then come up and lift off. So I'm coming like this with my black towards the outside and lifting off. Okay, and then if I have a smaller bud, then I'll do it even smaller. So now it's kind of that comma shape again. So you're starting with the heel of the brush at the bottom and the pointed end up, and you're just coming up and drawing around the bud. Okay, and so when I'm doing a design, I still have green on my brush. Before it dries out, I'll come in and do some. This is why I love these angle shaders, because see how pretty of a line it creates, and then it just fades out. So I'll do a couple of these next to each other. I'll come down here where the bigger petals are, just kind of start where the green is, and come out and make some more. And then I'll come in here and do just kind of joining these in so that they aren't hanging out there in space. And I just took the number 2 round and I loaded the white from the edge of the cake, which is not a bad idea anyway, uses up that. And instead of just doing lines, although I usually tend to do that when I'm in a hurry, I'm going to try to do some tiger stripes more. So do this in the middle. So I'm just making a little bud in the middle. And then I'm going to try to follow the edges of the petals so I can keep this darker definition in here. So start real thin, go thick. And you try to make them overlap again. And then cover up any naked spaces you might have to. So the tiger stripey stroke just gives it more of a folded petal look. But make sure you get that little bud in there. So just a little bit on this one because we don't want to do too much white. Okay, so I just follow the green blossom up, and then as I come up I separate them and make them smaller. So kind of like a stalk would change in real life. And then I'll come down here and do a couple petals this direction. And again, just vary it. Okay, and then I'm going to space them out and get smaller as I go out. Okay, let's add another little bit right here. And I'm pressing a little bit harder just to get all of that white out so I don't have to reload. And then you could also add some dots to represent baby's breath around. As long as you've got it on your brush, why not, right? I think a problem that a lot of people have is they try too hard. They try too hard to draw a rose. The beauty of this is you don't have to draw, you're just putting the elements of the rose together. Making these outside petals, and I leave a little bit of room in the middle so that I don't muddy my design. And usually I would only make roses this big for arm design. Okay, so we've got our large petals on the outside drying. So I'm going to show you how to do the inside. And these are more of the size that I use on face painting. So I'll do the inside U petal and come in and do another U to make the bud. And then I'm going to start on this next layer, I'm going to start the brush right here and right here. But I wanted to show you separately what this looks like. I'm not drawing a petal shape. I'm sweeping the white out and making like a comma. Okay? And that gives you the dark inside and the white outside and the white petal coming in. Okay? So I do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then the next set of petals, I'll start about a third of the way down. So about here and here. And I'll do, and since this is angled a little bit more this time, my comma is a lot skinnier. Okay, and then the next ones, I'll start a third of the way down, and they're even skinnier. Almost teardrops now. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of start filling in with comma strokes like that for the rest of the rose until it's filled in. Okay, this is so you get that 3D feel of the petals opening up. Because as they're open, they're pointing more at you instead of flat like this. So when they first start, they're completely flat, but then they're starting to point towards you as they open. So you can see on the brush, when I hold it flat, you can see all of the bristles. But as I open up, if I was a rose, it gets skinnier and skinnier, and all you see is the skinny part of the flower. Does that make sense? Okay, let's wash off the brush and reload, and we'll finish off the center, put it all together. Okay, so now I'm going to come up and I'm going to start the middle at a dark area, okay, so that you can actually see the white paint. So I do my bud here in the middle. I go even with the bud the first round. Okay, can you see that? And then the next round I start a third of the way down, and my comma is a little smaller. That one got a little big, sorry, I'm going to cover it up actually. Third of the way down, and it gets skinnier, and then these last few just fill in. They're just comma strokes that fill in.